Welcome back to a new video. In this video, we are going to create our own ChatGPT app using Streamlit. We are going to create two different ChatGPT applications in this video. You are going to see them on the screen. One is going to be Professor GPT, which is going to show you things. You are going to just type chess and it's going to teach you chess. The other one is going to be Translator app, and it's going to work like you are just going to type the text that you want to translate into English, and it's going to translate it for you. I will be showing you everything like getting an API key from OpenAI and creating your app with all the codes, and you are also going to learn how you can create your own ChatGPT app with the topic that you want, since I will be showing you what you need to change when you want to do that. Let's start coding. So as the first step, what we need to do is we need to get to this page for getting an API key from OpenAI. So we can create an app using ChatGPT. So I'm going to show you how we can open this page. I'm just going to go to google.com, and then from here what I'm going to do is I'm going to say OpenAI API Playground like this, and then I'm going to click on the first site, and then we are going to see that we will be at the same page. From here you can move your cursor to left to see the full menu. I'm just going to go to API keys from here, and then I'm going to say create new secret key, and we can give it a name like Streamlit ChatGPT, and then I'm going to press create secret key. I'm going to create my secret key, but you need to create your own because I'm going to delete this key after using that in this lecture. I'm just going to press the create secret key in here, and then I'm going to copy this key over here for using it in my app. If you didn't use your rights to use the API, you have free $5, and you can use that if you just created your account. Creating a new ChatGPT account and just getting a key like this also works. You have a free $5 to use. So after copying that, I'm going to go to the VS Code and we can start coding our app. So here I am at the VS Code screen, and we are going to start with creating an API call block at the first step on a notebook, and then we are going to create our Streamlit app. So at the first step, I'm going to create an IPyMB file like notebook.ipymb, and then I'm going to use that for making an API call. I'm going to select the kernel quickly, and then I'm going to say pip install OpenAI like this. And I'm using Mac, so I'm going to call pip3. It means Python 3. And after running that, I already installed that, but if you didn't have OpenAI, you are going to install that quickly. And after that, what we are going to do is we are going to say from OpenAI import OpenAI like this. If you use pip install and install OpenAI like this, or if you're on Windows, you need to do like that, you are going to have this working environment. So after installing it, we can use it. We are going to define something like user, and we will use the OpenAI class. We are going to initialize it like OpenAI, and then we are going to set API key in here like the one that I just created in the API playground, but you need to use your own because I'm going to delete this one after that. Remember that you can create a new account and use $5 for free. Okay, after creating this user, then what we are going to do is we are going to set a GPT model like GPT model is going to be GPT. I'm going to use 3.5 turbo. And after that, I'm going to define something like user role, and it's going to be user. And at the last step, we can use our API right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create something like response, and it's going to be user, this one we just created, user.chat.completions.create, and I will say actually there is a typo. Let me quickly fix that. Then we are going to set this like model is going to be GPT model, and then we are going to say message is going to be, we will say role in a dictionary is going to be user role we created, and then content is going to be something like, let's say our prompt is going to be suggest me 3 name ideas for a girl. Okay, after that, our API call is just going to work like that, and then I'm just going to say response, and we will see that we have a response like that. And let me quickly find where's the girl names, like Eva, one of that, Isabella is the second, and Aurora is the third. So how we can reach to this element from all this is going to be like, we are going to firstly reach to the choice like this one. How we are going to reach that is we will say dot choices, and after that we are going to see that we only have this like the choice in here, and I'm going to take the first element of this. So what I'm going to do is I will say the first element, and then we are going to have something like that. And now what we are going to do is we want to get that message. Since it's going to be our answer, I will say that message like that, and we can see that now we have our message. We have only one final step left for reaching to our answer, and that is that content like that. After that we are going to reach to this content in here, and we can easily use our response like this. Now it looks perfect. Nice. So in our Streamlit app, what we are going to use is this one like this. All of this we are going to use them for creating an ChatGPT app. We are going to print this at the end, and we are going to take the content from the user. So we can directly start to creating our Streamlit app right now. I'm going to create something like Streamlit app.py, and it's going to be a Python script instead of a IPMB notebook. And now what I'm going to do is I will say from OpenAI import OpenAI, and I will say import Streamlit as st. So after that, by the way, we are going to create two ChatGPT applications. One is going to be translator, and one is going to be a professor. Like, one is going to teach stuff on the professor side, and one is going to translate sentences to English. So what we are going to do is I'm going to define user again. I will say OpenAI, and then I'm going to say API key is going to be my API key in here. Don't forget to take yours because this is not going to work. I'm going to delete this one after this lecture. You can get it for free. Again, I'm going to set GPT model, and it's going to be GPT 3.5 turbo again. And what I'm going to say is I'm going to define something like user role, and it's going to be user again. And I'm going to create something like pre-prompt, which is going to be like that. I will say teach me the following concept. We are telling that because we are going to create a professor firstly. What this is going to do is it's going to take the input from the user, but before that prompt it's going to insert this like teach me the following concept, and user is going to enter calculus. Then our prompt is going to be teach me the following concept calculus like that. So this is going to be our pre-prompt, and we are going to change that with the context of our app. So after that I'm going to define something like response, and it's going to be an empty string for now. And then I'm going to say streamlit.title, and let's say professor GPT app like that. And we can use streamlit.divider after that. And then what we are going to do is we are going to say something like prompt, and it's going to be streamlit.text input, and we will say what do you want to learn. And after that we are going to put something like, let me quickly change that, we are going to create something like GPT button, and it's going to be streamlit.button teach me. So we are going to have a button as teach me, and when it's pressed we are going to print the response from ChatGPT. What we are going to do right now is I'm going to add a caption like Professor GPT, actually let's use uppercase letter, Professor GPT will work when you press the button. And then we can just insert something like Streamlit divider again. And let's just take a look at our app right now, and let's just see how it's looking. Then we can create the other part, which is going to be API call and the generated text. After writing all this code, I'm just going to say save. I'm going to save this file for it to work, and then I'm going to say Streamlit run, and our file name streamlit app.py. Like after running this, I'm just going to show you on the screen what appeared on my screen. So this is the current look of our app. We are going to write something like calculus or example, and when we press teach me, we are going to have the text below here. We are going to code that part right now. You can check how your Streamlit app works like this when you're developing apps with Streamlit. And now what we are going to do is let's code the API call part. So here we are at VS Code again. I'm just going to kill this like that. I'm going to kill the terminal, and then you can just reopen that and write streamlit run streamlit app.py again when you're going to use, or also you can write your code on VS Code, then you can save that file and refresh the browser, and that works. I'm just going to close this for right now. Now what I'm going to say is I'm going to say if GPT button, which is going to trigger our app, we will say with streamlit.spinner. I'm going to add a spinner like I am preparing your lecture. So the GPT is going to tell us that, and we are going to create something like response again, and it's going to be user.chat.completions like that .create, and we already did something like that on the notebook. We are just going to copy this one. Like the content is going to change, but response is going to be, the methodology is going to be the same. And what we are going to do is I'm going to say something like model is going to be GPT model that we created in here, and we are going to say messages is going to be like list and dictionary, role is going to be user role again, and then content, our prompt is going to be firstly the pre-prompt we just defined in here like pre-prompt, and since they are both strings we can just add them like that, and we will give the prompt, the user input in here we take. So with these two, so we also need to change this one quickly, and then we have our app right now. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to add like streamlit.snow like that, because I want an effect when the button is applied, it's inside that. And also at the final step I'm going to say streamlit.write responses choice first element of that message content. So it's the methodology that we used in here, and after that our app is going to be ready and we can use that. So with like 25 lines of code we have our app. I'm just going to make it run like using, firstly I'm going to save the file, and then I'm going to say streamlit run streamlit app.py, and now we are going to use it. I'm going to give this to screen. So now this opens in my browser and we can just test that like what do we want to learn. I want to learn about chess. So when I press teach me, we are going to see that I'm preparing your lecture, and we are waiting for it to run. Now ChatGPT is generating our text, and when it's going to print our response, we are going to see that we will have a snow effect from top, and I'm just going to wait for 2 or 3 more seconds, and I'm still waiting. And here is our response, and we can see the effect we have in here. So it seems great. Let's read it. Chess is a popular strategy board game that is played by 2 players on a square checkered board. The concept of chess revolves around these movements and capture of different places, with the ultimate objective being to checkmate the opponent's king. So we have all that details printed in our app, and it works smoothly. We also had the effect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try this with a different thing, like let's say with an empty string. We didn't give any prompt. Let's see what is going to be our response from our app. I'm just waiting for the response, and it's running, and here it is. So we didn't say anything like teach me this, and it just printed like random thing. It just printed random response. So I'm just going to press that when it's empty again, and we are going to see a different thing or a different prompt. I'm just going to record when it's finished. Like we can see opportunity cost is created like that. So it's a term in economics. I remember that from my bachelor's degree. And our app is working smoothly. Let's say, what do you want to learn? I want to learn about, let's say, cats. Or we can also just write cats in here. And I'm going to say, teach me. And after that, let's see what our program is going to print. So our response is going to be, sure, let's learn about cats. Cats, scientifically known as felis caters, are small carnivorous mammals that are often kept as pets, etc. So let's test with a complex topic like, what do you want to learn? I want to learn time complexity in software engineering. Let's try that. I'm going to say teach me right now, and let's see our response to that. So here is our response. Time complexity is a concept in software engineering that measures the efficiency or runtime performance of an algorithm or a piece of code. It helps you understand how the execution time of an algorithm increases with the input size. Great. So that was all for our professor app. Also, there is a typo professor. It needs to be. I'm going to change that quickly, like in a second. So in here, I'm not going to close the terminal. I will say, I'm going to change this professor app, like it needs to be like that. And after changing that, I'm going to save my file from the upper menu. And after saving, I'm just going to go to the Streamlit browser right now. And I'm just going to refresh this page, like since I changed the file, it's going to change without closing the terminal. And we can use it again, like I want to learn multiplication. And after that, after pressing teach me, it's going to work smoothly again. We just changed a little bit, like the title, we just changed a letter in title, and it's not going to affect anything because the app and everything is going to be the same, and we are going to get output in here like that. So we can see multiplication is a fundamental mathematical operation, blah blah blah, something like that. Okay, so let's change the context, like let's create a translator app right now. So we are going to change a little bit right now. I'm going to close the terminal. We are going to change the title, like we are going to say translator app, and we are going to give it a pre-prompt like I want to enter text in any language, like I'm going to use Turkish, it's my native language. I'm going to say like it can detect any language, like you don't need to specify. I'm not going to specify. Translate the following text into English. So after that, what we are going to do is we will say translator app will work when you press the button, and let's say translate for the button, and let's say what do you want to translate, and we are going to say I am creating the text like that. So after that, I think everything is clear and same, like we just changed the context of the app. So I'm going to say Streamlit run Streamlit app.py after saving my file, and we are going to see that we will have a completely different app. Like it is ready. What I'm going to say is everything seems clearly. I'm going to say abone olup videoyu beğenirseniz çok sevinirim in Turkish, and let's see the translation of that. And I would be very happy if you subscribe and like the video. So that was what I wrote in Turkish language. We can just try that with different things like Streamlit ve Python ile kendi ChatGPT'nizi kolayca yapabilirsiniz. And let's see the translation of that. And we are going to see you can easily create your own ChatGPT with Streamlit and Python. That was what I wrote in Turkish. Great. So that was all for the coding part of this video. These are the codes that we used. You can easily create this app by rechanging, like you need to change the API key in here, and everything can be same, and you can create your own context by changing these things up. Like if you want to create something like a teacher, you can just change this, and this one. And then you are going to have an app in your desired context. Thanks for watching the video. I'm sharing 2 or 3 new videos every week about data science and Python programming. You can subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. I shared a free data science bootcamp where I teach Python, Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, Plotly, Seaborn, and scikit-learn with 3 projects. The video is about 7 hours and it's completely free. You can just reach to that video from the card of this video or the link in the description.